you do fight, what weight would it be at?
195.
Oh, wow. So he would go all the way from 40 to 95?
Yeah, I mean, it would be an exhibition.
Tank Davis or Jake Paul. So, immediately, yeah, a normal layman would say, oh, Tank Davis is better. Or better at what?
Jake Paul is unequivocally the most successful fighter in history 4 years in. No one comes close.
The highly anticipated fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Tank Davis has reportedly been confirmed. According to Jake, it will be an exhibition match, with most of the details nearly finalized. The bout is scheduled to take place after Tank's upcoming rematch with Lamont Roach. Fans are buzzing with excitement, and promotional materials are already in the works. Both camps are prepared to move forward once Davis completes his obligations with Roach.
If you do fight, what weight would it be at?
195.
Oh, wow. So he would go all the way from 40 to 95?
Yeah, I mean, it would be an exhibition.
Okay. But, and so what does that mean? Is that 3-minute rounds?
Yeah, 10 3-minute rounds.
And when you say exhibition, like, what are the restrictions on that?
No restrictions, just the fact that, like, we couldn't actually get it professionally sanctioned.
Okay. Is that still of interest to you? Like, if he wins the rematch and you beat Julio, is that of great interest to you later this year?
For sure. Like I said, big events. And, you know, when we had announcement videos filmed for Canelo and for Gervonta, like both filmed and fully edited. And my team went into the streets to ask people what they thought of me versus Gervonta. Every single person was like, Gervonta would kill Jake. He's going to die, all of this stuff. And so just proving people wrong and changing the narrative and showing people that I'm a better boxer than all of these so-called pound for pound is just...
Jake Paul's victory over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. marked a major turning point in his boxing career. With this win, Jake has broken into the top 15 cruiserweight rankings, a remarkable feat for someone once dismissed as a social media entertainer. Now, title holders in the division can no longer ignore him. His rise from exhibition sideshow to legitimate contender highlights his growth and increasing credibility in the sport.
So now that Jake Paul won his fight against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., he's apparently ranked top 15 cruiserweights in the world. And apparently, I guess now, world champions are able to fight voluntarily to defend their championship against Jake Paul. Which, if I'm being honest, that's kind of crazy, bro. Isn't that crazy? Right? You're telling me you fought somebody that's not a natural cruiserweight, right? And now you're automatically ranked top 15 and you can fight a couple of world champions and it makes sense. Not that I think he beats any of them. I'm gonna be completely honest. I can't see it, bro. If Jake ends up beating somebody, yo, shout out to him. He finessed his way to the fucking top and a world champion and really like cemented himself into the history books. But the way that he boxed, he's just very sluggish. It's kind of slow. You know, I think any cruiserweight world champion, even Badu Jack, will defeat him. And I actually don't even understand why he even wants to fight Anthony Joshua, besides the bag, obviously. But what do you guys think, though? This whole shit has gone crazy.
Talks of a Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis matchup have circulated in boxing circles for some time. Jake stoked the fire by calling out Davis during a press conference at the Mike Tyson event. While some viewed it as typical bravado, Jake's challenge reflected genuine confidence and his ambition to take on elite opponents. With both camps engaged in discussions, the fight feels closer to reality than ever before.
You were an interested observer on the Netflix event, Paul versus Tyson.
Why wouldn't you even want to fight him? And who told Mike Tyson to fight anyway?
Is Jake Paul someone you'd want to take on at one point?
Yeah. Tell him, this is my call out. Jake Paul, what up? What up, Jake Paul?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be down. Let's run it. Like, I'll be super down.
I don't know if Gervonta needs Jake Paul. Let's be clear, right?
Is there a height limit in boxing?
Tyson Fury gave his thoughts on the potential Jake Paul-Gervonta Davis bout. While many automatically favor Tank, Fury questioned what exactly makes Davis the obvious favorite. He praised Jake's promotional genius, noting his unmatched ability to turn fights into massive global events. Fury emphasized that in modern boxing, marketability is just as critical as skill, and Jake delivers on both fronts.
Fantastic event. Anyone who don't think it's a fantastic event is jealous. Who's better, at Tank Davis or Jake Paul? So, immediately, yeah, the normal layman would say, oh, Tank Davis is better. But better at what? Is he better at selling tickets? Is he better at selling stadiums out? Is he better at creating controversy? Is he better at getting followed on Instagram? Is he better at putting more eyeballs on the boxing? Is he better than him at that? The answer would be no. But is he better at him in a fight? It has to be really, you have to break it down. You know what I mean?
Jake Paul's influence goes beyond his in-ring performance. His promotional strategy has reshaped how boxing connects with a modern audience. From viral social media campaigns to brand partnerships and collaborations with platforms like Netflix, Jake has found ways to engage fans beyond traditional boxing. Even veteran fighters recognize how Jake's approach brings attention and new opportunities to the sport.
Jake Paul is unequivocally the most successful fighter in history 4 years in. No one comes close. No one. You couldn't list one that comes close, including Brock Lesnar if you include his WWE career. 4 years in terms of what he's done in terms of box office, pay-per-view, impact, helping other boxers, because he had platform, he had awareness, and he's got the focus and discipline to drive.
While comparisons are often made between Jake Paul and his brother Logan's exhibition against Floyd Mayweather, key differences stand out. Jake has shown stronger boxing fundamentals and greater dedication. His significant size advantage over Gervonta Davis adds intrigue, making this potential fight more than just a spectacle. With Jake's improving technique, power, and composure, many believe this could be a genuine test for both fighters.
So Tank Davis versus Jake Paul exhibition match was going to take place after the Lamont Roach fight, until Tank threw with Roach, leading to a rematch. Now I'm going to say the unpopular opinion here, but the size difference would have been way too much. I mean, even if Tank brought Jake down to 190 or 200 pounds, he would have still been way too big. I mean, no matter how good a lightweight is, they would have almost no chance against a cruiserweight or heavyweight ranked top 200 in his division. And I'm sure people are going to bring up Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul, but Logan is just not a good boxer relative to Jake. You know, Jake's been training for a couple years, he's had over 10 pro fights, and Mayweather was also junior middleweight in this fight, not at lightweight like Tank. But that being said, I'm glad Tank and Jake isn't happening. You know, it would have been a fun spectacle, but I'm not the biggest fan of the exhibition stuff. And instead now Tank and Roach will be rematching in June. You know, the first fight did a little over 260,000 pay-per-view buys, which isn't bad in this market. Roach absolutely deserves a second fight, so I do think the rematch will do far more numbers. And as for Jake, I want to see him fight big-name boxers around his weight class. You know, the Tommy Fury rematch, for example, he's undefeated. The first fight did a little over 800,000 pay-per-view buys. He's around the same age range, so that's the fight I want to see, not the exhibitions. But let me know what you guys think.
Debate continues over whether Gervonta Davis will actually agree to fight Jake Paul. While the payday would be massive, Tank recently turned down a proposed bout against Shakur Stevenson in Saudi Arabia, citing discomfort with the location. That decision has led some to question whether he's selective with opponents and settings. A match with Jake may only happen if everything aligns perfectly to Tank's terms.
Gervonta Tank Davis isn't a prize fighter. I know a lot of you guys say, well, he doesn't fight for belts, he doesn't fight for legacy, he fights for money. He's a prize fighter, Jerry. And I'm going to assume a prize fighter is a guy who is solely making fights based off of cash reward. He'd rather fight a bum for 50 million than fight a guy who's experienced for 10 million. That is what a prize fighter would be. Actual definition, a professional boxer who competes in matches for money prizes. So let's take a look at it. Turki Al-Sheikh has declared he wants to make Tank versus Shakur. He says, my plan for Shakur is this fight. He's referring to Floyd Schofield, then William Zepeda, and then let's see if Tank wants to be in our show. Tank's not going to fight Shakur. He's not going to fight him in Saudi Arabia. Well, now that we've established Tank isn't a prize fighter, because if he was, his career resume would look a whole lot different, then we must ask, what is Tank's goal in boxing? I'll tell you right now, it's easy money. Tank is the type of guy, he'd rather fight, let's say, 4 Lamont Roaches for 20 million than fight 1 Shakur Stevenson for 80 million, which is fine. But I'm tired of people saying, oh, he's a prize fighter, that's why he's not taking these fights. He's not a prize fighter. The biggest money fights is Haney, Ryan, Teo, Shakur, and Loma. He's not even going to take half of those fights. So please, guys, all my Tank fans, all my guys who claim Tank is a prize fighter, that's why he's not fighting for the belts, please stop it. The guy's not a legacy fighter. He's not a prize fighter. He's just a guy who enjoys easy paydays. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. Just stop misleading people with your comments.
Gervonta Davis, who fights...
A major obstacle in this potential fight is the weight gap. Gervonta Davis fights below lightweight, while Jake Paul competes in the 190 to 200 pounds cruiserweight range. If Tank were to take the fight, he'd have to make drastic adjustments, not just in weight but also in training and strategy. The sheer size difference makes this matchup highly unusual, which only adds to the intrigue.
This is my personal take on it. I've been saying for a while that Gervonta Tank Davis needs to go up to 140 and challenge himself. Now, a lot of the fanboys, you Gervonta Tank Davis fanboys, called me a hater for that because y'all just don't get it. And I don't really blame fanboys. Fanboys are followers. So when you hear somebody talk with his own mind, talk like a leader, they're immediately unidentifiable. So you guys see him as a hater, all right? The truth of the matter is, Gervonta Tank Davis is a big-time predator. He's a big-time predator who needs to hunt big-time game. There are fighters who are just generational talents, right? And those fighters, they must get it all, have it all. And I know a lot of you guys would see it as money, right? Because y'all just not made of that stuff. And I've been trying to say it in live streams. I've been trying to say it in videos. I've been talking about boxing in a way from a perspective of big-time fighters, big-time legacy, and what makes a warrior from when they're small. Gervonta Tank Davis has been a beast for as long as he remembers. From a little kid, he's been a beast.
Despite his popularity, Gervonta Davis does not currently rank among the top 10 pound-for-pound lightweights. This surprises many fans who see him as one of the division's most dangerous talents. It raises questions about how a bout with Jake Paul would be perceived. Would it enhance Tank's legacy, or distract from it as a sideshow spectacle?
Gervonta Davis is not a top 5 pound-for-pound fighter right now. He's arguably not even in the top 10 pound-for-pound right now. Despite how cool this picture is, it does not get him into the pound-for-pound list. Even though we could say that he could probably beat everyone in the lightweight division, even though I think he loses to Shakur, he hasn't done it, and he probably isn't gonna do it. But what would it take for him to get to the #1 pound-for-pound spot? Let's go over what he would have to do to reach #1. Well, first off, he'd obviously have to go undisputed in the lightweight division. And even though that would be great, I think that only cracks him like #4. Because the only one in the top 10 pound-for-pound in the lightweight division is maybe Shakur. But realistically, he's gonna have to do more than just go undisputed in the lightweight division. So obviously, he'd have to go up to 140 because there's no way he's making 130. And then he'd have to beat a dude like Teofimo, and he'd probably have to beat Devin Haney as well. And I think that could probably get him the #1 spot. But yeah, we can sit here and say Tank is one of the best pound-for-pound fighters right now, which I think he's one of the most talented, and I think he could do most of what I said. However, hypotheticals aren't going to work with pound-for-pound listing.
Jake Paul clarified that any fight with Gervonta Davis would only take place after Davis handles his rematch with Lamont Roach. That bout is a key chapter in Tank's career, and Jake respects that priority. Still, once that hurdle is cleared, both camps may finally move forward. With Jake's recent win over Chavez Jr. and rising momentum, fans are eager to see if this matchup becomes reality.
They were scheduled to fight for sure.
How real, or what was to it with you and Tank actually being a thing? Was that something that was talked about?
Yeah, no, it was highly talked about and in negotiations and almost ready to make happen, but he has to do his rematch with Lamont and get that W, and then we'll be able to run it back. But me and Gervonta were scheduled to fight for sure.
Boxing legend Shane Mosley praised Jake Paul's performance against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., applauding his movement and preparation. Conversely, he criticized Chavez Jr.'s approach, describing it as odd and suggesting Julio should consider retirement. The stark contrast in how the two fighters were received after the bout reflects Jake's rise and Julio's decline.
It's Fight Up TV. Being joined with Sugar Shea Mosley, Jake Paul, getting a unanimous decision over Chavez Jr. What are your impressions, Shanes, of how the fight went and how, especially, Junior fought?
Well, first of all, I think that Jake Paul fought a good fight. You know, he moved around the way he's supposed to, throwing great punches, and for the experience he had, he did fantastic. Junior, on the other hand, he didn't throw any punches until the third or fourth round or something. He was just kind of walking forward, and I don't know what he was doing. It was weird. It was weird to see that type of fighting, but anywho, that's not Jake Paul's fault. So Jake Paul did what he needed to do, and he won, and he looked good.
Where do you think Junior goes from here, in your opinion, Shane?
Junior needs to retire from here. He needs to retire. I mean, if you can't throw any punches in 2 or 3 or 4 rounds, you need to retire. I mean, if you can, what are you doing? What are we doing? You just live up. Basically, you live off your father's name. That's basically what you do, because you didn't even fight until the last round, maybe the last 2 rounds, and threw some punches, and you had some success when you threw some punches. It's the weirdest thing ever.
Following his victory, Jake Paul had a clear message for his critics. Many had questioned his durability and legitimacy as a boxer, but Jake showed he could take punches, stay composed, and come out on top. This win wasn't just about the scoreboard, it was about earning respect. Jake proved he's no longer just a celebrity dabbling in the sport. He's now a serious competitor.
Between you and Cesar Chavez Jr. tonight. Now, in round 9, the heat really turned up. Did you feel the Mexican power that he promised, or do you feel like he didn't perform the way you thought that he would?
No, yeah, he brought a hard fight there at the end, and that's that Mexican warrior style. I don't know how he was eating all those punches, to be honest. My hands low-key hurt from his face, and so respect to him. He had good cardio, and he came on strong at the end. He's a very, very strong guy, had a lot of power, but people underestimate my chin and my ability and my toughness.
Jake, Jonathan Agger of Pro Boxing Fans. During the week, you had a viral interview with Piers Morgan where he said that he didn't think that you would beat Chavez. He felt like when you fight a former world champion, you'll come unstuck. What did you prove to not only him but other people that have criticised you?
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, actions speak louder than words, so people can sit behind their desks and sit on their TV shows and say a lot of things about my career, but everyone's tuning in, everyone's watching, and I just continue to win.
After Jake's impressive showing, rising star Rayo Valenzuela offered praise, stating that Jake deserves to be ranked among the top 15 to 20 fighters in his division. Coming from an active fighter with credibility in the sport, this endorsement carries weight. It signifies that Jake is now being seen as a legitimate presence in professional boxing.
Oh, great fight. Julio's back after all he's been through, so, I tip my hat off to him. It's not easy, especially through, when life throws at you sometimes, but, it was a good fight.
What'd you make of how Jake Paul looked and fought?
He's doing his thing. Jake Paul's looking good. Shout out to him. Yeah.
Do you think he's ready to fight maybe a top 15, top 20?
Sure, yeah.
So I guess where does Junior go from here in your opinion?
It's up to him. He can retire if he wants, or he can have another, fight like this. Fight a YouTuber or something.
Yeah. In terms of you, Rayo, when can we see you back in the ring?
I'll be back in the fall, hopefully.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates.